Okay. Figure I better do this now because I'll be scrambling to do this late on May 31st. But we're at that time of the month. Not that time of the month. And it is time for another ARC Thoughts on, I should explain for those who don't know. At the end of every month, I've been doing a thoughts on every chronological arc in One Piece. I've been doing that since January of 2020, and I'm going to do that until, probably at least until Wano, provided that I'm sure Wano will be done by the time we get there. Anyway, I'm gonna hear myself. So, what's the arc for this month? Folks, before I begin to talk about this, I want to make one thing clear. To this very day, this particular arc, which is known as Enies Lobby, is in a lot of One Piece fans' top 5. In some cases, it's in their top 3. In other cases, you can make an argument that it's the very best. And for a long time, it actually, you would have, I would agree with that. I totally would have agreed with that for a while. It consists of 56 manga chapters and 46 anime episodes, which 56 chapters is a pretty good sized chunk of story. In fact, I think only Alabasta really had more at this given time, and Alabasta is also considered one of the best. But Enies Lobby also had a few arcs built to as well, Water 7 and the Sea Train. I mean, you would think this arc starts as a pretty simple premise, right? Get Nico Robin away from the world government and go home. It sounds simple. In fact, it's actually completely different than what you would think it is. I mean, normally when the Straw Hats go to a different island, they see an island, see the problem with it, try and fix it, and move on to the next one. That doesn't happen here. The Straw Hats and a ragtag team of people they've met on Water 7 invade an island. And it's awesome. Just to save one person. I mean, there are so many great moments in this arc, I couldn't tell you, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I can talk about Nico Robin, just pouring your heart out after so long of saying and hearing people say, you should die, the world doesn't want you to exist. She really yells, I want to live. And it's one of the most heart-wrenching, beautiful, almost tear-jerking for me moments that I've ever seen. And there's just iconic moment after iconic moment after iconic moment. Usopp disguised as Sniper King shooting down the flag. All of the Straw Hats fighting their respective CP9 enemies. The entirety of the Rob Lucci versus Luffy fight. I'll get to that later. I don't even know where to start. I mean, gosh. I guess I can talk about the possible MVPs of the arc being that of both Usopp and Frankie. I mean, you can make the case for Usopp because he didn't really get a special power-up or anything, but he did shoot down Spandam, assisted in helping save Nico Robin. And remember, a couple arcs ago, he and Luffy had a falling out. And Luffy is right now fighting Rob Lucci, which was at the time the most powerful enemy Luffy ever fought. And Usopp is telling him, get up. You gotta fight on. Don't quit. That was just powerful in of itself. And that may very well have been the turning point in that particular fight. And then there's Frankie, who also helped save Nico Robin, took down one of the members of CP9 himself, subdued and saved Monster Chopper, which, Monster Chopper, amazing, because Chopper was at that point where, he was strong, but He wasn't like very strong, you know what I mean? But Monster Chop was great. I mean, he took out Kumadori, another member of CP9. That was awesome. Yeah, Frankie and Usopp both can make a case for MVP of, the arcs. And I want to make one thing clear, because more often than not, you actually hear people complain about the comedy in this arc. Like, it's unneeded. This is supposed to be serious. This is supposed to be, like, emotional. And trust me, you needed comedy in this. I mean, even the members of CP9, who you would think are just, robots, they actually have personalities. Well, for the most part, I mean, you can make a case that Rob Lucci still has the seriousness of CP9 that people are trying to say that the arc is supposed to convey. But honestly, even that's balanced out by the fact that, the fight there's like some funny moments in the fight with it and Luffy. And the other members of CP9 have great personalities. And the fights that the Straw Hats have them. I mean, Nami against Caulifla was great. Sanji against Jabra was awesome. Frankie versus Fukuro. Chopper versus Kumadori. And the list goes on and on. And then there's the whole power-up system in general. Because Oda had gone almost 10 years without making any sort of, like, power-ups that are, like, Super Saiyan quality. And he comes out with Gear Second. Or Second Gear in English. When Luffy first fought Bluno. And I'm like, okay, this is good. And the cool thing, I mean, you don't really see it very much nowadays. But at the time, whenever Luffy used any of his gears, either Gear Second or Gear Third, it always came at like some sort of cost. When he came to using Gear Second, it was apparently supposed to like whittle down his lifespan a little bit. Whereas when he used Gear Third, he becomes, small again. See, when he uses Gear Third, he literally like bites into his thumb, blows it up like a balloon. He's made of rubber, so it works. And his body parts become the size of giants. That was really cool. Meanwhile, Second Gear is a more boost in, like, speed, with some definite power behind it, don't get me wrong. But, man, honestly, when a lot of people see Luffy power up, they love seeing Gear Second. Although, surprisingly, now that I think about it, I haven't really seen it so much lately in the manga. Or the anime. Well, the anime is pretty simple because we're in Wano right now. But, yeah. Let's go watch back some old One Piece clips about that. But I'm getting ahead of ourselves. And here's the thing. This arc introduced another arc calamity, which was the Buster Call. Which, basically, a Buster Call is when you get 5 battleships. No, 10. It's 10 battleships with 5 vice admirals, and they destroy whatever island is there. That's what it is. And Enies Lobby is completely destroyed. Like, legit destroyed. I don't even think it's on the map anymore. That's how bad it was. Yeah. I really don't know what else to say other than Luffy versus Lucci. When One Piece fans think of all the great moments of Enies Lobby, if they have to pick the collective best one, it's the entirety of that fight. Because it really was just a slugfest. Like, think of the greatest fights you've seen, not just in anime, but in all fiction. And someday, someone's gonna come out with, like, a top 10 of the greatest fights to ever take place in fiction. And don't get me wrong, by then, I don't think Luffy versus Lucci would make it. But if it came out now, it might. There's a case to be made for it. But man, just like, and the finale of that fight too, where both of them used their most powerful abilities against each other. And it really did look like Lucci was going to win after he used the Rokuogun, which I mentioned before, the CP9 members are 6 Powers Masters. The Rokuogun, translated in English, translates to 6 Kings Gun, where basically their hands go like this, and like a powerful shockwave like goes right through a person. And Luffy faced that 3 times. The 3rd time, though, Luffy's like, I'm not falling for that again. Then Lucci's tail, because remember, Lucci was his own type Delphi user, had a leopard's tail, so, model leopard. And he trapped Luffy, got him right here, and and we all thought Luffy was going to go down, but no. And then Luffy came out with the Gum Gum Jet Gatling, which just completely ended the fight. I'll never forget watching in English. I'm pretty sure Colleen Clinkenbeard completely destroyed her voice doing that. Then again, she says that Luffy destroys her voice all the time, so there you go. So, yes, all in all, this was considered the best arc that One Piece had to offer for a good long while. In fact, you can still make the case that it still is. By all accounts, you can make a case that it is. And I didn't even get into other stuff like Robin's backstory or Frankie burning the blueprints to Pluton. Blueprints to Pluton. That's what it is. Which, again, another reason why you can make a case for Frankie being the MVP of the arc. Man, this is a good arc altogether. And it's emotional. It's going to tear out your heartstrings. It's going to make you cheer at the best parts. It's going to make you laugh at the funniest parts. This was One Piece at its best. And at the time, now I can say it is among One Piece at its best. Put it to you that way. Like, favorite, share, hit the subscribe button, follow me on social media platforms, notification YouTube. I'm hoping to make this video for you guys to watch and enjoy. I actually have another video to do in a few minutes because this is Friday morning, so I hope everyone has Hope everyone has a wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys want to talk or chat, we're here to let me know. So back. Take care, make good choices, and have a happy Memorial Day weekend. See ya.